Hi folks, Dave with DBSTECHTALK, and today we're going to talk about the Fostex T50 RP mod known as the VibroLabs Curly Maple. Okay, so the VibroLabs Curly Maple is a beautifully crafted, closed, circular mod of the Fostex T50 RPs. Wood. This one is done in maple. You can also get them in various other mods, cherry, and I don't know, I can't remember the other ones. I know zebra wood's in there. And so they're just beautifully modded, beautiful looking. These have been slightly modded since I've gotten them stock. So the additions are a Cascadia suspension strap, and also they have been changed to 2.5 millimeter inputs versus the attached cable. Other than that, everything is stock. We have a Fostex headband with the sliders, and then these beautiful cups. Let me just look at those. The grain is just amazing to look at. So the stock cable will look something similar to this. It's just a copper cable. You do get a 1/4 inch Nutric with a little bit of strain relief, not too much. Then it'll go to a molded split, and then you get your cable. Of course, that would be attached in. You wouldn't have the connectors like I have. I took part of that cable and had the gentleman who did the mod for me make a XLR extension. Two cables that I do recommend that you get if you do get them modded to have 2.5 millimeters in is the HiFiMan OFC hybrid cable with your left and rights, and then a 3.5 millimeter. It's a very nice cable, perfect length for these, fits very well. Or just find one on eBay like I did, and I can't remember the manufacturer of this, but has a nice XLR with marked L and R's. Overall, just find that these are very light for a wood headphone and very pretty. Let's take a look inside underneath the cup here. So you just lift the pad off very easily. It's a Brainwaves XL pad. This is the fenestrated version. They do come with the hybrids installed. You get a little bit of a disc cover underneath. This is actually a replacement. The first one is the same thickness and density on them, but it had a weird like a flower cut out to them, and they just slid all over the place and just didn't fit proper. So I found that this disc type that the gentleman that did my mod used instead works a whole lot better. Actually, like this, doesn't fall off when you're trying to put the pad on or roll up, and the other one just had a big problem. So anyways, here is the what's underneath. So as you can see, we have a nice big huge covering, a little bit of covering on the driver itself, a little bit of felt, same material that is on that disc. That's what it feels like, and lots of screws holds it in place. If you push on this, this has a little bit of like a rubbery feel to it, and then underneath you can feel the molded plastic for the ring. So it's kind of a two layer. You can kind of see the line right there, and this part here, if you can see that on camera, kind of squishy, and then the hard, you can feel the hard underneath. So it's a very unique, whatever the technology is that he's using inside of here. It works, that's for sure. All right, let's get to the actual sound review and I'll try to explain what makes these so enjoyable. Alright, so the VibroLabs Curly Maple. Has very few similarities to any other T50 mod that I have come across. It's fully closed, and wood cups. I really enjoy the sound of these. This is probably my favorite closed headphone that I have had reviewed or owned. Also, it's by far the best closed planar I have ever heard. And, let's take that back. It's the best closed planar that I have reviewed or owned. There we go. Also the most comfortable. They look big, but they're not heavy at all. They're extremely light, and with adding that Cascadia suspension strap, they are extremely comfortable. They just go right on your head and just sit there. They feel like pillows with the Brainwaves XL pads, and the suspension strap does a really good job of eliminating any sort of clamp force or anything like that. I mean, these are extremely comfy. I can wear them for hours on end without any issues. Do not get any sort of hot spot on from the headbands because it's not touching my head, and it's just super comfy. How do they sound? They have a slight warmth to them, but are very detailed and extremely clean and clear. The bass is well extended and very detailed. Has a nice emphasis on the clarity and details rather than on the punch and on the overall impact. Now, I am using the fenestrated pads on these. They do come with hybrids, and also enjoyed the suedes and the full leathers you can use also. I'll break down the differences that each one of those pads makes in a little bit, but all review material is done with the fenestrateds. So the bass is very well extended, has really good details and clarity, and it has a nice linear sound to it, but is not the most impactful or it's not super full bodied. Mids are very natural, have excellent timbre to them, and everything sounds true to the recording, at least from what I can tell. There's no graininess, no issues with sibilance or sharpness or shoutiness. They're just very clean and clear and very natural sounding mids. And again, they're a little bit on the thin side. You don't get a whole lot of full bodiness to them, but they are even with the bass and the treble. It is a W-shaped sound, and it's very pleasant. Treble is slightly on the laid back side, but extends well and has good air and clarity. Does not have that on the border of sharpness issue that some T50s can have. This is a very laid back and smooth treble, but at the same time gives lots of air and clarity in it. The Soundstage is really wide actually for a closed back headphone. It's not as wide as an open headphone, but it has these moments of having that airiness come through, in which you think, man, these are close to an open back. They just have this way of portraying a soundstage in a light, energetic, natural way. Details come through very well on the Soundstage, and the imaging is very good. I wouldn't call them precise, but they're close to being precise. You can definitely tell if it's right center, left center, center, more forward center or back center. And you get really good traveling. Like if something fades out, comes in from over here and goes across and then fades out, you can really hear it travel. Footsteps do a very good job of showing you like distances and things like that. You can also tell like instrumentations, like especially in like orchestras and bands and stuff, like one person sitting in a row farther back than another, or closer to a microphone than another person is. And these do a really good job in showing off the depth and the width of the soundstage. But it's not always the most clean and clear. Sometimes it can be a little bit hazy or fuzzy, which is why I say that they're not super precise. Pads definitely make a difference, and I find that the fenestrated gives the overall best sound for these. Has the most air and clarity and overall evenness across all the frequencies. Suedes warm them up just a little bit and give you more of the fun factor side of it, and does eliminate slightly a little bit of the clarity and details in the treble, smooths it out just a little bit, makes it more of a darker, warmer sound, and then the soundstage becomes more intimate and you do lose some of that experience. The full leather pad I didn't really care for. It turned them a little bit V-shaped, made the bass nice and impactful and thumpy, but the treble became a little bit on the more shouty side and sibilant side at times on certain songs, and the mids also became a little aggressive at times. The hybrids did a really nice job of kind of giving you a feel of both the fenestrateds and of the suedes. It gave you a little bit of a warmer tint, but also still left a lot of that airiness and clarity that you get in the treble. Didn't darken them up quite as much as the suedes, and also helped out the soundstage a little bit, but it wasn't quite as wide and airy and separated as you get with the fenestrateds. I found that my two favorite pads on these are the fenestrateds and the suedes, just because you get a different feel from both. You get that warm, gooey, dark, relaxing sound with the suedes, and then you get that more analytical and technical side with the fenestrateds. The VibroLabs Curly Maple. This is by far my favorite of the T50 Mark III mods that I have heard and that I currently own. Truly enjoy it, and well worth it if you can get your hands on one. This has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, somewhere on this screen floating around is going to be a subscription link. Please check that if you haven't already. And then don't forget to hit the notification bell down below. That way you'll know when more videos are uploaded to the channel. If you truly enjoy this channel and want to see more videos like this, or loan some gear for reviews, check out the links down below. Thanks.